Okay, and we're live. Awesome. So, hi everyone. Looks like we have people flowing in here, both on Zoom and Facebook Live. My name is Megan Sano with Ski Racing Media, and thank you all for joining our second year virtual Gear Week. Ski Racing's partnered with a bunch of different brands across the industry to present this year's virtual Gear Week and kind of just make equipment information widely accessible, even in a time when things are a little unprecedented. During this week, we have popular brands sharing news about their equipment, and all of you guys can participate and ask questions. Tonight's very first presentation is with Pearson Neal, Nordica's National Race Manager, and he's going to be taking you through new equipment. And if you have any questions, you can pop them into the comments, either if you're joining us on Zoom or Facebook Live. Both will work, and we'll be getting to all of them. And then Pearson has a bit of a swag bag, I believe, that he can tell you about that he'll be giving away at the end of this presentation. So Pearson, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Megan, and thanks again for having us this year with another virtual race week. Today I'm going to present the Nordica race line from boots to skis. At the end of this presentation, we will be giving away a swag pack that you can see over here on our left. So you'll get a shirt, a bag, a water bottle, and some straps. Ski Racing is going to pick the winner and get that information to me. Any questions that you have throughout the presentation, please pop them into the comment section, and at the end of this I'll take a seat and I will shuffle through the questions and get you guys some answers. So kicking it off today, I'm going to break our race line down into pretty much 6 sections to sort of make it easier to understand for everyone. So everything from the fist level down to your little junior kid, U8 level racing. And we're going to start off today with our new line of RD race department skis. So starting off, we have a new model 193 and 188 GS ski. We have anonymously been known as the sort of stiffer race plan. We have redesigned these skis with a smoother, softer tip, a completely new model. So this ski now flexes very easily. And this ski is made for those, your upper level fist athletes, your NORAM guys. I mean, this ski's got it all. It's much buttier tip, much smoother turn in. We used to have a very aggressive tip shape, whereas this tip allows you to ease into the turn and make that clean arc onto the next gate. We also in the race department line have the 165 and 156 department skis. So these skis are a little bit beefier than our World Cup plate skis. They come with a 14 millimeter plate. It's a different construction. So again, these skis are made for that athlete that's a higher level fist athlete, or a very strong first level fist athlete, the NORAM level. Looking for a lot of snap and speed out of the ski. Moving on to our World Cup plate skis. So we redesigned our 188, 183, and 178. These skis now are 25 meter, and then the shorter two are 23 meter skis. This line of skis, we promote to the U16 level. This is that U16 looking to move up to that next fist level, not quite ready for that 30 meter radius or that more aggressive race department construction. So with the World Cup plate GS ski, you have a tighter radius. And then again, on the slalom ski, World Cup plate slalom ski, and we make these in a 165, a 156, and a 149. They all come with a 10 millimeter piston plate, and it's just a little bit softer construction for that racer that's not quite ready to move up to that race department ski. And then we're going to move on to our junior line of race. So in our junior line of race in the GS skis, starting at a length of 171 and working our way down, the longer length skis come with it's a 2-piece connected plate. And also on these skis, the metal runs full edge to edge. So this is for your, U14 ripper looking for that full metal construction to get a little bit more aggressive in the turn. It's not too soft for them, it's sort of the perfect flex. But as you move down in the GS line for juniors, you work your way down into that, that 150 range that comes with a 2-piece plate that's not connected. And the metal in this ski does not run full edge to edge. It runs down the center of the ski. So that lighter weight, U12, U10, looking to really get a grip on the snow. Torsionally, it's much softer and easier for them to turn. So when they get down on this littler ski, it's a better fit for them. Then once you get up to the longer lengths, when you start to move into the U14 range, the metal starts to go full edge to edge. So that athlete is able to, move up the junior line in a progression. And then same goes for our SLJ slalom skis. So again, with the 142, the 149, and the 136, they come with that 2-piece plate and the metal, full edge to edge. And then on the smaller slalom skis, again, that metal runs right down the center of the core, right here. Torsionally softer, easier for that younger lightweight athlete to use. So these 2-piece plate skis are for those, U12s down to U8s looking to start to get into racing and make it fun and very easy for them. And as you move up in the line, you move into your U12, U14 sort of progression of how the metal works in the ski and the flexes work in the ski. So that sort of does it for the ski line running through junior and adult. And now we're going to move on to our Doberman boot line, starting with the World Cup line of boots. So our World Cup boots start in a 150 flex, a 130 flex, and a 110 flex. These are full World Cup mold boots, 93 last. The soles are not identification, so these boots are meant to be lifted, ground punch to get you up off the snow a bit more. Full lace-up liners in the World Cup model boots. We also make this boot for your up and coming, say U16 racer. We make a World Cup 100, so same exact mold as the World Cup boots, 93 last, but with a lower cuff. So you got a young U16 looking to get into that World Cup boot, but he's not that tall yet. He doesn't have that leverage to flex the boot. This would be the perfect fitting boot for him, whereas there's a little bit shorter cuff, so he's able to get out and over the front of the boot a little bit more and, make that aggressive turn. Moving on to our junior line of boots. We have a 90 low cuff and a 70 low cuff. Again, these boots are based on the World Cup mold. This, the last on this boot is a little bit wider, so it's a 96 last, but still with a, it's a half lace up liner, so you still get that full on race feeling in this boot, that really tight fitting boot. We suggest your 90 and your 70 LCs. You could have a U16 anywhere down to a big U12, but definitely your U14 range of boots for these boots. Lower cuff. Again, you can lift these boots, punch these boots, a little bit thicker plastic. They're meant to be, high performance boots that are molded to pretty much molded or ground to fit around your foot. And then our last line of boots in our race line would be our GP boots. So the GP boots come in a range of flexes and sizes. They start at 130 flex and go all the way down to a 60 flex. So there's a multitude of ranges they hit for the racing group. This boot is a little bit lighter weight, a little more comfortable. It's a 98 last, has a little bit plusher liner. It's not a lace-up boot, but we really look at this boot as your intro level, racer. So just starting out, anywhere from U8 to sort of U12, U14 kid, just really trying to get into racing. This is a great boot to get them into. And then masters racers or high school racers looking for something that's a little bit more comfortable, still has the race performance, a little bit wider last. This is the boot that they would probably be looking to get, stay out in it all day, still get that high performance fit and, have a great time. And moving on, so this is the swag, the swag pack we'll be doing this year. We have a new registration form for all products that will be going out with Ski Racing Media. This registration form is if you buy, a multitude of race products, Nordica, if you register any of your products, you can receive free swag. That's, hats, t-shirts, water bottles, ski straps. So the more product you buy, the cooler swag pack you'll get. Also in today's event, we're gonna give away, Security Media is gonna give away the swag pack at the end of the event. We'll get your information and send it out your way. So with that, let's switch over to maybe some questions if we got any on the docket here. So first question I got here, any recommendations for an old racer with knee or osteoarthritis? So the line of skis I actually don't have in here are our oversized race skis, but it still has that real race construction. Our GSR and GSM and our SLR, are great. They're a little bit easier performing skis. You don't have to really lay on them to get them to turn over. You can just sort of roll your ankles and knees. And I'd also suggest the GP series of boots, that GP 130 or 110 or 110 low cuff, depending on, your ability of skiing. Let's see what the next question is here. What flex would you recommend for a 9-year-old who is 72 pounds in a 22.5 size boot? Or does this need to be recommended by a coach? It's always good to get the coach's advice for sure. But going off what you're saying here, a 9-year-old, 72 pounds, is he an aggressive skier or is she an aggressive skier? But the boot I would suggest would be either our 70 LC, which is this boot. This is the 90, but the 70 LC, same exact mold. Or depending on their ability and how aggressive they are, the GP. So the GP is just a little bit lighter weight and easier to flex and a little bit more volume in the boot. But again, you'd have to sort of size them up, but those would be my 2 recommendations. Can you talk a bit more about 2 upper end boots? Are they a neutral degree in either direction? So they are neutral. These boots, high-end World Cup boots, come at 15 degrees of forward ramp angle with the cuff. They are at 0 from the back. You can turn these degrees on the cuff to make the cuff go in or out a half a degree. So it's very easy to manipulate. And then you can also, cant from the sole of the boot in or out, depending on where your knee sits or, how you flex that boot forward. See what else we got here. The slalom skis. So the RD slalom skis, they do come with a flex sticker on them. It's a very slight range of flexes. It's called the FH number, and that is only available in the race department skis for the 156 and the 165. The World Cup plate skis are not flex specific, but the range is very slight in these skis. So on the stiffer end, we're talking, a flex pattern of, I'd say 41. And on the softer end, we're talking like a flex pattern of 46. So they do come, it's something that you can find at a shop because they do all have the stickers on a shop, but it's not something specific that you can order a soft or a stiff flex. So what's the differences between last year's race department fifth slalom and GS skis? The slalom skis are unchanged for the 65 and 56. So the models did not change for these skis. The model did change for the 193 and 188. I don't know if you remember last year's ski, it had a much more aggressive tip shape. So it's a much smoother, flatter tip shape here, less aggressive. So it's our skis were known to really bite on the snow. These skis are, as soon as you roll it over, it's a very smooth arc into the next turn. And again, we made, the shovel of this ski much softer. So it's a much smoother skiing ski. And that's in the 88 and 193 race department ski. What flex would you recommend for a 16-year-old, 120 point slalom and GS skier with a 25.5? So, I mean, 16 years old, boot sole's a 25.5 and he's 150 pounds. I'd probably recommend for a boot, either starting off, depending on how taller he or she is, starting off with the World Cup, either 100 low cuff, or the World Cup 110, which the cuff height goes up a bit. And then for skis, 5'10", so you're looking at probably your, 183 World Cup plate GS ski, which would pair well with the 156 slalom World Cup plate. The slalom World Cup plate skis, have the 10 millimeter plate, which also make the ski a little bit less aggressive, before moving up to that full on race department ski. What else we got here? I think that's we nailed all the questions there. And with that, I mean, this is the race line. Feel free to reach out to Ski Racing or myself anytime with any more questions. We can hang here for a few minutes. If you got some more questions in, we can roll through them. But again, register your product this year. When you purchase it at a store, it's super easy to register. You scan a QR code and you're in to register it. Show proof of purchase, and you're gonna get this cool swag pack. Pretty good deal to get some free swag. And who doesn't love free swag? With that being said, check if there's any more questions, which I don't think there are. And this is the Nordica race line for 2022. Thank you for joining us.